This is the end of the world, and I'm the last line of defense. The infection has been dormant for centuries, buried deep beneath the earth. But now, it's awake. The signs were subtle at first, but then everything changed. The dead aren't just wandering, they're hunting. Faster, smarter. Even the creatures of the wild aren't safe. Wolves, cows, everything is turning. This isn't just a plague, it's evolving, it's learning. And it won't stop until everything is consumed. Deep below, at the heart of all, lies the ancient node, a living, breathing core of corruption. But if I don't stop it now, there won't be anything left to save. I woke up in the middle of an empty field. The tall grass swaying in the wind, no memory of how I got here. No supplies, just me and the open land. In the distance, a village. Shelter, food, maybe even some answers. I started walking. The silence felt off. Then a deep, resonant chime. It echoed across the land. Sinking into my bones, I froze. The air felt heavier. My breath caught in my throat. But there was nothing. No sign of danger. Just the village ahead. Untouched and normal. I shook off the feeling and carried on. But the unease lingered. Something had changed. As I was looking for supplies, that's when I saw it. A black, inky substance creeping along the ground, moving like it was alive. It slithered fast, consuming the coastline, racing towards the village. The sound it made, it was wet, slimy, unnatural. Panic set in. I needed to move fast. As I tried to leave the house, my heart was pounding. I peered through the window, and that's when I saw them. The villagers, the livestock. Their bodies were twisted, eyes hollow and dark, infected. A sudden movement behind me. I turned. A skeleton. But not like any skeleton I'd seen before. Its bones were coated in the same black ooze, dripping as it moved. Then it did something I didn't expect. It spat. A glob of black goo shot towards me. Hitting me as I stumbled back, I ran. Out the door, across the village, the corruption was closing in. I had seconds. I grabbed whatever wood I could. I crafted a boat with shaking hands. The ink had reached the edge of the village. It was too close. I jumped into the boat. I shoved off the side, off into the water, and the village was lost. The sky darkened faster than it should have. The world around me faded into deep blues and blacks as I rode. The water had to be safe, it just had to be. Then, in the distance, something caught my eye. A tunnel along the shoreline, draped in cobwebs. I rode closer, stepping onto land. The cave entrance was thick with webs. I reached out, collecting as much as I could. String. This could be useful. Then I looked down. Spiders. A lot of them. Their eyes glowed in the darkness. With no armor and no weapons strong enough to take them on, I backed away, marking the location on my map. I'd come back later, if I survived longer. Rowing through the open water, I thought I was safe. I wasn't stopping, not for anything. But then I saw it, the infection. Even out here, far from the village, signs of the black corruption lingered. It clung to the coastline, staining the land like a sickness that refused to die. Then, a roar. Deep gruntled, it echoed across the water, shaking me to my core. A notification appeared. An Enderman was scouting for a raid. I gripped my iron sword. I wasn't hopeful, but I had to see it for myself. I pulled up to land, stepping cautiously onto the shore. The ground was already tainted. The infection was spreading fast. I didn't want to be here. Then, pain. I never saw this Enderman. Something hit me, hard, again and again. I turned away, shielding my face, barely clinging on. I had no chance. I sprinted back to the boat, heart racing. As the sun began to rise, I rowed away, leaving the infected behind. For now. Sunlight stretched across the horizon, but it brought no comfort. I was alone, no food, no armor, only weak wooden tools. If I didn't gear up fast, I wouldn't last much longer. The infection moved quicker than I thought. Every time I checked my map, the corruption had spread further. Another village, lost. I couldn't save them, I had to keep moving. I reached land, searching desperately. Another village, this one untouched, for now. I wasted no time. I raided every chest, grabbed everything I could. There was no saving these villagers. The infection would take them too. Found a bed, some leggings. Not much, but it was a start. Food. I needed food. I took as much wheat as I could, crafting every bit into bread. It would have to do. More supplies, a helmet. I was still weak, but at least I had something. Night was falling fast, but this time I was ready. I could finally sleep. For the first time since waking up in this nightmare, I had a moment to breathe. Tomorrow, I'd have to be stronger. Whilst walking along the coastline, I found a map. Buried treasure. I needed this. I followed the mark, digging deep into the sand. Over and over. Nothing. And then I found it. A wooden chest hiding deep within the sand. Iron. Lots of it. This was huge. But what to craft? Armor, tools, a bucket. Walking along the beach, I spotted something in the distance. A small island. Black veins of corruption twisted through the grass. The infection was coming. I turned and left. With some distance between me and the spreading horror, I took my time to think. My inventory was cluttered. I needed to craft. I made a pickaxe, an axe, a chest plate and some boots. I ended up using the last bit of iron for a flint and steel to try and save some space in my inventory. I found that I could make a golden shield. This would make me move faster. I needed that. I ended up finding some coal, but iron was my priority. A cave entrance stood nearby. It felt off. There were no mobs, no sounds, just empty space. I mined what I could, then set up camp on the cave's edge. Night had fallen. I laid down my bed, trying not to think about the infection creeping closer. Morning. A new cave, a big one this time. I entered carefully. Still, no mobs. Weird. But iron was everywhere, so I mined. Spent a bit of time mining, then I saw it, a camp. Then the chest moved. My body went cold. The lid snapped open, revealing rows of jagged teeth. A mimic. It lunged towards me. I jumped back, sword in hand, swishing wildly. After a tense fight, the creature fell. Shaken, I gathered my iron and smelted it down. Making a helmet, I needed to get stronger. Diamonds were next. As I was looking around, I spotted some below on the ledge, but it was a long way down. Then I saw it in the distance, a massive wooden pillar. Curious, I mined into it. Hollow. Inside were ladders. I climbed down deeper and deeper, reaching a tunnel. And there it was, the infection. It was here. Then that sound echoed through the cave. A notification flashed. The infection had reached a mature stage. I didn't know what that meant. Then pain. I jumped back, realizing I'd stepped on an infected block. Regret flooded my mind. This was a bad idea. I grabbed more diamonds and climbed the ladder. Every second felt like an eternity. By the time I reached the surface, night had fallen again. I collapsed into bed, exhausted. Tomorrow, I needed a plan. I found a village, a large one. For the first time in days, everything seemed calm. No black veins were creeping through the ground, no twisted creatures lurking in the shadows. Just a village, untouched. I spent the whole day raiding, gathering supplies without fear of being chased. It felt strange, like the infection had forgotten about me. As the sun began to set, I stood atop a hill, watching the sky burn orange and red. For the first time since this nightmare began, I felt at peace. I took shelter in one of the huts, letting the quiet surround me. But I knew this wouldn't last. Hey guys, and welcome to my new channel. This is something completely new and I've never done anything like this before. If you enjoyed it, let me know in the comments so I know whether you want to see what happens next. And if you really liked it, I have so many more stories that I'd love to bring to life. So hit that like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.